Hi, my name is Simone de Beauvoir. I was born in Paris, January 9, 1908. I was born in a very wealthy family and also very religious. Throughout my whole life, I advocated for women's rights and I created a term of, well, I created a term or like an ideology that women should like create their own meaning and should not be restricted by what men thought about. And my most controversial idea was about God, religion, God's path. The church most of the time said that God had already like done a path for everyone, that we didn't really have a choice. So I thought that we created our own path, our own meaning. Our whole life was yet to be chosen. And from this idea is where I started to notice that women were limited by what others said, mostly society or men. And so yeah, this idea of the freedom that we had created like a lot of trouble. But that's my view on what God is supposedly saying. I say like they're wrong, the church or the whole religion is wrong. And well, does anybody have any thoughts?
No? Well, hi, my name is Adam Smith. I'm a Scottish political economist and philosopher and I became famous for my book, The Wealth of Nations. Um, I I was born in Scotland. Well, my point of view of religion is basically that it's kind of a uh, discriminate discriminatory system because you don't have like the same opportunities as all the people should have. Like for example, in my economic system, where the free market stemmed the conviction in people to become better and have a better atmosphere with their also social life and living conditions. And religion is not like it has this like a hypocrite point of view of the opportunity of growing as a person and getting better things for all your environment. Any questions?
No? Well, hello, my name is Ludwig Wittgenstein. I am a philosopher. I was born in 1889, and I am considered one of the most important thinkers on the 21st century. My most important theory is that through language we can know our reality because the ideas with which reality is explained are obtained through the language. Talking about religion, I think that religion refers to values, not about facts. Religion don't explain historical events or describe objects. The religion shows ways of saying the word and therefore they affect its value and meaning. Religious belief is indifferent to historical facts. It has a force that scientific truth never researched or never could be explained. The religion it depends on every person and their thinking. Believing in God means understanding the problem of the meaning of life. Also means that the facts of the world are not everything and that the life has a meaning of every person. Any doubts or doubts?
No. Well, hello. My name is Erasmus Erasmus. I was born in 1466. I am a Dutch humanist, considered one of Europe's greatest and most influential scholars and an important figure on the humanist movement in Northern Europe. I studied in the University of Paris, classical literature and Latin. One of my most famous works is my book, The Price of Folly, and translating the New Testament into Greek. I'm also known for encouraging the Protestant Reformation, and the main ideas about my philosophy on religion is always the same, that religion should teach people how to live and lead a good life, and they should have the free will to do it as they please.
Hello, good afternoon to everyone. My name is Jean-Paul Sartre. I was born on June 21st, 1905 at Paris, France. I am a French philosopher, novelist, and playwright, best known as a leading exponent of existentialism in the 20th century. And two of my most famous books are the Being and Nothingness and the Existentialism and Humanism. So I have an atheist existentialist position with religion because I think that God does not exist, because there is at least one being in which existence precedes essence, being that exists before being defined by any concept, and that being is the man. So I think that all men are free individuals, because they believe that as free beings, people are responsible for all elements of themselves, because there is this idea that God determines us, but I think because God doesn't exist, the only individual who determine man is ourselves, our individual consciousness, and yeah, that's my posture with religion.
Hello, I'm Socrates. I'm from Alopez. I come from a very humble family. I was born in the year 417 before Christ. I have a wife called Shontimpa. Sometimes it's fine and it's not necessary to think you know everything. And my phrase is well to know. I just know that I don't know anything. And in my opinion, I think that God not exist, and because I don't think that someone controls everything. Rather, I feel that there is something for everything, and that God, something cannot take care of everything. I believe that there are several gods, and each one has their place in this life. But I also believe that everyone is free to think what they want at any time, and not because of this opinion do I intend to change your opinions. Just as I believe that there are several gods for all good, I am aware that evil exists, and I know how to differentiate totally. And when I appears to me, once I know this, I can walk calmly without so many worries.
Okay, is there any opinions on Socrates' opinion? No? Well, that's so. Well, thank you for listening. And these were like the opinions of several philosophers about God existence and religion.
So on my essay, I talked about mansplaining and how like women are interrupted so frequently. We have developed like many defense mechanisms. One of those is filler filler words such as or like. That's also a word that women use a lot these days. And this is based on thinking that men or what men have to say is way much more important than what a woman has to offer. And Well, to solve this problem, I suggested to start changing this mindset and yes, like teach men to respect, but also I urge women to fight for this freedom of speech. And the term mansplaining, well, is basically when someone is trying to teach someone else without like taking in consideration that they might know like the same or even more. And well, this is a term that is not considering gender, but most of the times it is done by like a man trying to teach a woman, and is awfully common in these days, and is the same base as the other problem with filler words, and most of the times we don't even realize it. So like people with authority should like be more like paying attention to these kind of things. They might notice like these problems and try to solve them before they get like even worse. And well, yeah, this is like the issue I base my whole essay on. And well, yeah, do you have any?
No. Well, as I talk about Adam Smith, I want to talk about rich people and how we should treat them. Well, we already know that in our capitalist economic system, we have like the advantages of getting, well, richer, right? As we know, well, Smith said that rich people has to be treated as heroes and rewarded for their good deeds. So their ego would rise, and then when they will want to contribute more to society in a positive way through their capital, creating like institutions and public works, which the government isn't able to afford. Well, we can see like these examples. I want to explain mainly the Bill Gates scenario, where he and his wife has donated like $50 billion to charity, which shows like how actually rewarding rich people with moral positivity, it's actually good to create this ego, right? To and necessity to do right to the society. Any opinions?
Well, on my essay, I talk about a big problem now in our society. That is that young people spend too much time on their phones. They don't allow themselves to know the reality through the language. They just are on their phones and don't allow themselves to meet in person. And we know that there is not the same to talk in person that talk by message. This is why young people have some problems expressing themselves or communicating, because all the time they are expressing in a way that they think everybody understands. Young people must understand that they should know their reality to keep and to not keep on what they say on their phones, and they must communicate with people to obtain ideas and make their own thoughts. I think that the best solution is that young people face their reality. They cannot be behind those screens all day. They have to understand that there are words, expressions, and actions that they are not the same for everyone. And they have to discover everything that exists in their world, discovering their own reality through the language and form their own thoughts. Any opinions?
Well, I was best known as a follower of Christian humanism, and this basically means that humans have the ability to reason and improve themselves. I believe that Christianity should show people how to live good lives and not necessarily provide them with actions and beliefs that can help their souls find redemption and go to heaven, like the church said. I'm actually a little bit against the institution. I think that the church needs to change their way and return to how it was in the early days of Christianity, when morals and faith were simpler and purer. I think that Christians need to rectify their mistakes and wrongdoings of searching for more power, politics, and wealth, and focusing on what's important. I believe that learning about Jesus' life and his way of teaching would strengthen people's faith in Christianity and lead them to be good, and that its purpose is of guidance. Finally, I always argued that denying free will could destroy the moral basis of all human actions, and that if the gospel was truly preached as it should have since the beginning, Christians would have spared many wars in the past.
So while talking about religion, I mentioned an important concept from my philosophy, and also that is related to religion. This is freedom. For me, freedom is very important. I strongly believe in freedom, especially freedom of the individual, because I think that it is essential to making our lives meaningful. Because I believe there is not almighty creator that could tell us how we ought to live our lives. Rather, it's up to us to decide how we should live and who we should be. For me, man is nothing else but what he makes of himself. We are so radically free that we are the ones who create the meaning, truth, value in our lives, and we're totally responsible for our lives, because we often claim to be unable to do certain things, but in fact we don't do them because we don't want to, because if we wanted to do them, we would. So I think the a life free of values is creative, non-alienating relation to others, attention towards universality. Because in my opinion, we can no longer support this idea that I created the world, or that the world has created me. Because we are free, but not of action. We are free because we are always free to choose. So therefore, I propose all of you to choose.
So I'm gonna talk political corruption, that refer to dishonest or criminal acts committed by political officials and authorities who abuse their power and influence, the intentional misuse of financial and human resources to which they have access, anticipating their personal interests or those their relatives. It's like this type of corruption has its size and is even seen in ancient times to the present. This type of dishonest acts not only harms the person directly, but even in superior case, it can affect an entire society. That's why it's so serious, in which bravery is also involved as a method of change. That is why everyone is free to be or not part of this total act of dishonesty. Most of the time, these acts are executed by people with great economic power, as taking advantage of most vulnerable people, thinking only of their well-being and not caring what other think. I believe that all beings is result of ignorance, and that no person desirable in turn virtue is knowledge, and those who know good and act justly. A possible solution of this word problem could be use good education in society. Since I personally think that is the basic of everything, and each person is free of their acts, and know the right thing about things. In life, there are good things as well as bad things, and we always have to know what is right and make the best decision in order to prosper.
Okay, well, that's all for these topics in actual society. So, well, thank you for listening.